Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are here with more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and I know that there has been a lot of Duel Links on the channel as of late. I will be switching up, what I do with videos and what I do with streams and stuff like that. It's just right now, there's a lot to talk about with Duel Links, given the fact that the KC Cup just happened, and now we're heading into Banlist season, where everybody wants to talk about potential Banlist hits and stuff like that. So basically, once the Banlist is over, we're going to be moving into more of the standard stuff and what I normally tend to do. But I do want to talk about the Banlist, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail. And first of all, I want to mention what the top tier decks are. So according to some of the top players, actually a lot of the top players in Duel Links, these are considered the best decks for tournaments, right? Do keep in mind, these are the best decks for tournaments, including a side deck, right? Where you are able to switch cards in and out between games 2 and 3, right? So, Blue Eyes, Star Seraph Dark Lords, sitting in tier 1, pretty expected. If you know anything about the meta, these guys are everywhere. Blue Eyes are really strong, and Star Seraph Dark Lords are even stronger. And then we've got Harpies, as well as Onomats. Harpies are the newest of the decks, but they're still incredibly strong. They have a lot of potential plays, and there's two different ways to really build them, and it's really cool to see a new deck in the meta. And then we've got Onomats, basically your stock standard OTK deck, similar to a lot of other decks that have come in the past that are mainly focused on going second and OTKing your opponent, or going first and just surviving so that you can go, on the third turn or on your second turn, just kill your opponent. So, yeah, pretty simple. If we look at the power rankings, these two are in tier 2 rather than tier 3. And then we've got Cyber Dragons and Evil Eye, both of which did pretty well for the KC Cup specifically. And in fact, they're more so designed for the KC Cup, especially Cyber Dragons. Evil Eye is a counter to the meta, more so against Blue Eyes and Dark Lords. But even with that, not the greatest. As you can see, their power levels are quite a bit lower than those of basically everything else. So, there's that. Real quick, just wanted to show you that. That's what we're working with. Let's move on to my Banlist predictions. This is what I predict will happen. We're also going to be talking about skill rebalancing as well, and we're going to talk about that first. So, first of all, we got to talk about level augmentation. If you don't know what this is, why it's here, let me show you the KC Cup real quick. I gotta find a deck that's using level augmentation. None of the top decks are... here we go. So, right here, you can see Destiny Draw Dark Lords, as well as level augmentation Dark Lords, utilizing this card right here, F.A. Hang On Mock. Sorry. This card in particular is crazy good. What it says is, unaffected by activated effects from an opponent's monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's level. Now, in Archetype, it can normally get up to about level 8, right? So, even with that, that's still pretty good, right? And it gains 300 attack per level. Overall, not that bad, right? At level 8, I think it's at 2400. So it's a pretty big boy, and it's unaffected by monster effects, even including XZ monsters, which is pretty cool, right? Overall, not too bad. It can be dealt with pretty easily with spells and traps, and that's why you see the Lance right here to accommodate for that. If you want to deal with it with a spell or trap, well, I'm just going to Lance, protect it. Now we're happy, right? But there is a second effect, where if this card is level 7 or higher, any card your opponent sends to the graveyard is banished instead, right? So, in a meta where there are tons of cards that want to be sent to the graveyard, like Blue Eyes, like Dark Lords, like Evil Eye, like the myriad of decks that there are, this card is insanely powerful. Plus, obviously, the fact that it can just be unaffected by monster effects is really, really strong, right? So, when you look at it, it's kind of stupid. And level augmentation makes it even worse. Because with Dark Lords, with this level 10 Ixchel and this level 10 Desire, what you can do is you can boost this card's level to level 14. You normal summon it, you reveal the Ixchel or the Desire in hand, you target this, you boost it to level 14. Now it's permanently level 14. It's like 4,200 attack. It's super large. It banishes everything. It can one-hit kill your opponent, and it's unaffected by basically everything thanks to Lance. Insanely good. Okay? So, level augmentation, as well as all other level manipulation skills, simply you put the until the end of the turn clause on it, and it's fine. So instead of, manipulate the level forever, it's just till the end of the turn, right? Which basically makes it totally fine. All of a sudden, this doesn't matter, right? This card doesn't really do anything. And now the skill, level augmentation, as well as most of the other level manipulation skills, will be used the way that they're intended to, right? For synchro summoning and for XZ summoning. Great. Fantastic. In fact, most of the other level augmentation skills that we've gotten have this until the end of the turn clause, right? Think of the water XZ skill, Territory of the Shark. That is change all of them to level 4 till the end of the turn. Think level tuning. That one is until the end of the turn. There you go. Pretty simple fix. Now, Ultimate Dragons is the skill used by your typical... where are Blue Eyes? Why do Blue Eyes just not exist? Hello. Blue Eyes. Ultimate Dragons, really good. You add cards to the extra deck, and you are able to reveal 2 Blue Eyes monsters to add a polymerization from outside of the deck to your hand. Pretty simple. It's just to help not brick. That's basically it. Honestly, with this, I think Konami will do one of 2 things. One, it's only going to give you the extra deck monsters. I could see that happening. That would be a pretty big hit to Ultimate Dragons and would basically turn Blue Eyes off of that skill. Or can only be used if your life points decrease by either 1,500 or 2,000. One of the 2. It's another pretty simple one where... And this is what I'm expecting Konami to do. This isn't necessarily what I want them to do. I just expect this to be what they do, right? Just, okay, you're only going to get the extra deck monsters. That's fine. It's still a good skill, even with just getting the extra deck monsters. Or, you could decrease your life points, and then you can reveal the Blue Eyes so that it's more of something that you use in a pinch, right? That's basically it. Now we have Destiny Draw. You must be at either 2,000 life points or less, or I could see them even nerfing it a little bit more to go 1,000 or less. Now, Destiny Draw literally is just draw any card from your deck of your choosing, right? And the way that this was getting manipulated is if we head back to this and we look at a Dark Lord deck list. Oh, that one's playing level tuning. If we look at the Dark Lord deck list, they're playing Destiny Draw. Now, how this can be manipulated is you activate your Dark Lord effects. Ixchel, you pay 1,000, or an Aston, or Tez, or anything like that. You pay 1,000 in order to get your Search, your Contact, even your Sanctified, right? And you do that twice, and then all of a sudden, you're able to pick up your deck and search for any card. Pretty degenerate, right? Even if you're able to use Sanctified to negate a card and then still be able to pick up your deck and search, right? And that was the big downside, right? There's also a lot of, I would imagine there are, where are they? Yeah, Battling Boxer Veil in Dark Lords, kind of interesting, as well as you see it a lot in Luna Light. Where are there no Luna Light players? What the heck? Where are the Luna Light players? Hello? Eventually. I'll get there eventually. I know for a fact there's a Luna Light player who made top 100. Am I just wrong? What the heck? Oh, here we go. They're not even playing the card! Anyway, you see it a lot in things like Fire King, things like Ritual Beasts, things like Lunalight. Not Ritual Beast, sorry, that was wrong. Anyway, Battling Boxer Veil, it allows you to gain your life points after taking a hit. And you see it a ton to just proc Destiny Draw. It's like, oh, you dealt 2,000 damage? Great, I took actually no damage. Now I got a monster on the field. And I get to use my Destiny Draw, which allows me to search for any card in my deck. And now all of a sudden I can make my plays. Great, fantastic. A little bit too overpowered, just solely due to the fact that you can still activate it while you have all of your life points, or even more than what you started with, right? That's the biggest thing. So, pretty simple nerf there. Onomata Play is also a really, really good skill. Let's see if we can find an Onomat player, which shouldn't be too hard. Onomata Play, pretty simple. You return 2 Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, Dododo cards, any 2 cards, right? And then you add 2 monsters to the hand, right? Any of those 2 kind of monsters to the hand, right? So it's even. You go even, but it's the fact that you can literally just shape your hand, right? You don't even have to have good, Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, Dododo cards in your hand to still be able to get your combo off, which means you can play a lot of just random tech cards, right? You can play the one Onomatopoeia. You can play the one Head, or Gloves, or Buster, or Child, because if you see them, it doesn't really matter if you're going to use them, because you could just return them back into the deck, right? Same with, like, why you only play 1 Bolt, or why you play only 1 Tag, or only 1 Wind, right? Although those make a little bit more sense because they can be searched off of Sister, but it's a really good card, it's a really good skill, and the fact that it was used so heavily in specifically the KC Cup, I think that it will be changed to 1 card for 1 monster, or change it to be used only from turn 5 onward. So basically, you're less likely to just be able to get your combo in OTK, just immediately. And it's more of like a recovery tool. So that's what I think will happen. And then there will probably be some really bad skill buffs, right? That's what I'm expecting for the skills. Moving on, we have Blue Eyes. I expect them to solely limit Sage to 2. I think that is the only hit. Blue Eyes are incredibly popular. They're incredibly good for Duel Links. I think so many people have started to play the game due to the fact that Blue Eyes are a popular deck and a top tier deck. I think they're just going to basically slap Blue Eyes on the wrist and say, no, you can't play as many Sage. That's what I'm expecting. Konami tends to do that. It's an SR card. It's not like it's a really expensive UR card or anything like that. So, before I move on to the next ban, or the next limit, which you've probably already seen, I want to show you this. Oops, hold on. There we go. I want to show you this clip from my stream. I literally just streamed. Okay, I'm playing Photons on my free-to-play account, so I'm not expecting to win. But let me just show you this. If you want my opinion, I don't understand what I'm watching. Fair enough. It's the stick. Now, before I say anything, I thought that this worked similar to like Floodgate does with the with Blackwings, right? Where if they have the Black Whirlwind and then they summon the Blackwing, you can Floodgate it, and then all of a sudden they don't get their search effect, right? So I figured that's how this worked. It didn't. That's a misplay from me, but I still want you to see this. Okay. I hate this. Oh, okay. I was about to say he has the lance. He doesn't have the lance. We're fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're happy. Except he drew the extra card. No, I'm sad. Oh, and he gets the special summon anyway? Imagine breaking with Photons. I know, true. Oh, yeah, just draw into Scepter. Just draw into Scepter. I hate this. I'm so sad. Very depressed. Stick and chair is not the problem, by the way. I'll talk about that in a second. Lies. Lies and deception. My opponent's just too good. Yeah, just draw like 16 cards. No, it's totally fine. He stole my Galaxy Eyes! You got it. I can't. So, I hope that that illustrated pretty effectively what the problem is. Stick and chair. Didn't matter what else he had. The combo drew him 4 cards. 4 cards? No. He drew 3 cards. He searched 2 of them, right? So that's 5 extra cards. All from 2 cards in hand, right? Then he was actually able to rip a card out of my hand, as well as he was able to destroy a card that I had played. Right? Now again, I did misplay, so that's on me, but still. The combo itself is really, really strong in such a weak format, right? If this was with Noble Knights, or with Invoked, or with, you know, anything where they were at significantly stronger power, right? Things like Dark Lords, when they were at, you know, more or less full power. Black Wings, when they were at more or less full power. And a lot of other decks. That wouldn't have been nearly as bad of an issue. But it's the fact that right now this game is kind of weaker than it's been previously. Stick and chair are insanely powerful. So, what I'm expecting Konami to do is I'm expecting them to see the KC Cup, and I'm expecting them to see how popular specifically the stick and chair combo is, and I think that they're going to limit chair. I think that chair is going to get hit to 2, and we'll talk about more Dark Lord hits that are potentially coming through. I don't know for certain what else is going to happen. I expect more, but I know almost for certainty chair is going to get limited to 2. If it's not, then they have something else wild that they're going to do. Harpies. I could see them limiting something in Harpies, solely due to the fact that it's also currently being played with Neos in a 30-card format, which I think Konami may not want. So I just put a bunch of different things that they already play at 2, or maybe at 3, but don't necessarily need to play at 3. Elegant Egotist, it's played at 2. Harpy Lady 1, it's played at 2. Perfumer is played at 3, and it's a really good card for the deck. And it is a new card, but I could still see it getting hit to 2. That'd be like a harsher slap on the wrist. But honestly, Harpies pretty much get away scot-free. I don't think that there's anything that Konami's really gonna do to them, just because they are pretty new. But I could see them not wanting Neos specifically. Like, I'll show you real quick. So yeah, right now this one's playing Treacherous Trap Hole. There are 30-card variants. If we go to Harpies real quick, as you can see, Neos Fusion is being played alongside a lot of them in a 30-card variant. Yeah, this one right here, you can see, has Neos, has the Neos Fusion, a lot of cards, 30 cards. So I think Konami doesn't necessarily want that, so that's why I'm predicting a limit to 2, just on some sort of Harpy card. Onomats. Dododo Draw or Gagaga Sister, limited to 2. It's pretty simple. They don't want him to use Hey Trunade. And if we look at an Onomat deck, all of them are using Hey Trunade, right? And limiting either Dododo Draw or Gagaga Sister, as well as hitting the skill, will force them to play significantly differently. I would imagine Dododo Draw, since it allows you to draw cards, would get hit more likely, but I could also see Sister getting hit. Just something so that they can't play Hey Trunade. That's basically it. Now, moving on to the unbanned / buffs. Real quick, this is the ban list. We've got 3 forbidden cards: Cocytus, Cyberstein, and Grasslook Screener. Whole bunch of limited to 1 cards. You can check them all out there. You got a whole bunch of limited to 2 cards, and with limited to 2 cards, you can only have a, any 2, just only 2 of any of the limited to 2 cards. So do keep that in mind. Same with the limited to 3 cards. You can only have 3 of any of them in the deck, right? So you can see the little explanation here. If you need to pause it, go ahead. But that's basically how it works. And with that, we have a few cards that I suggest becoming unlimited. Amazoness Onslaught, unlimited. Assault Armor, unlimited. They're currently at 3, and I think that realistically they're not even doing anything at 3, at, you know, the limit to 3. So you could unlimit them, and I think that that would be fine. Konami, this feels almost like the waiting ground to come off of the list, right? You put it to 3 if you're a little bit hesitant to just straight up taking it off the list. So I expect more limited to 3 cards that may potentially come off the ban list later. So yeah, I do think that those 2 will come off of the list. As well as Koeki Mayuru Core, I think will be unlimited. Or at the very least, limited to 3. Because I think they've seen that the previous nerf or unban, buff, whatever you want to call it, to Koeki Mayuru wasn't really that strong. While it was a really, really good deck in the past, it's now pretty okay. So I could see them unlimiting core in particular. I'll show you. I think right now it's limited to 2. Yeah. Iron Core of Koeki Mayuru. I could see that coming off of the list and just being unlimited, because I don't think that really changes the deck. It's still not going to be great. Now I have some potential hits. Things that they might potentially change. They might hit Karma Cut, because it's been pretty meta and people have been complaining about it for quite some time. So there is a potential that they hit it. I'm not entirely certain about that. Don't count on it. Rainbow Life or Hollowed Life Barrier. If you don't know, both of those cards are insanely strong. And realistically, I could see both of them getting hit in one way or another. But I think Rainbow Life or Hollowed Life Barrier getting put to 2 is likely. One or the other. Probably not both. Then we've got Head Judging. If you don't know, Head Judging is currently actually limited to 2, because it's a really good skill, or a really good card. And basically it is a card that says, all right, we're going to decide right here, right now, if I win the game or if you win the game, based on a coin flip. So that tends to be what happens. You flip it up and then you have your opponent call heads or tails. If they get it wrong, you steal their monster and negate its effect. It's kind of disgusting, and I could see it getting even banned or limited to 1 or something like that, because right now I think Harpies are playing it, and again, similar to this limit, they may just want Harpies to not play it. So I could see that also getting hit potentially. But these are all speculations for things that I think Konami could do. And, you know, they do some crazy things with the ban lists. So do keep that in mind. I think they could also put Ritual Beast Tamer Elder to 3, just given the fact that, well, right now it's limited to 2, right? But Ritual Beasts kind of haven't done anything recently. They're barely played. Most people don't really care about them too much. So I could see him coming off of the list and going to 3, which would prevent them from playing, you know, Cosmic Cyclone and stuff like that. And that would be, again, just to kind of test the water. Be like, okay, is this really capable of coming back? Maybe. Now, Dark Lords. There are 2 things that I could see happening with Dark Lords, along with Chair getting hit to 2. Sanctified Dark Lord, which is wrong one. Which is currently at 1. Where is it? The Sanctified Dark Lord, currently at 1. I could see that being changed to 2. I think that this is a terrible idea, because then all of a sudden it's just, all right, I'm just going to keep looping multiple Sanctified Dark Lords. You know, I don't need contact. I have other ways of summoning my monsters, right, and protecting them. Now I'm just gonna, negate even more monster effects, right? And gain even more life points. Fantastic. So I don't think that that's gonna happen, but it could. Konami's kind of dumb. They do weird things sometimes. So I could see that getting hit due to Eggshell as well being at 2 and Contact being at 2. They're like, okay, well, you can only play 2 of these 3 cards, basically banning one of them from the deck, right? Or I could also see Desire getting limited to 2. And that's the boss monster that's played a lot in the Dark Lords. As you can see, Desire is played almost every time due to the fact that it allows you to, send a card to the graveyard. And it's pretty beefy. And you only have to tribute 1 monster, right? So I could see that also getting limited to 2. That's basically it. It's just to, again, similar to Sanctified Dark Lord, be like, okay, we've got 3 cards on the limit to 2. You could hit, you could only play 2 of them, right, instead of 3. I could also see the Sanctified Dark Lord being banned. That could also happen, but I think it's significantly less likely due to how much Dark Lords are loved by the community. They just like playing them. I don't know. I like playing them as well. So, also, real quick, the reason I think that this is almost certain, forgot to mention, Decade, Duel Links Meta, probably already has his video out, or is going to post his video about his Banlist predictions, which he did on stream. And I was there watching it, and he was talking about Dark Lords, and he was like, they're going to hit it super hard like they did with Shiranui. And I think that that's possible. But he is notorious for hating on Dark Lords. So I want to let you guys know, I don't think that his opinion about Dark Lords is from a place that really should count when you're looking at the viability of the game, right? Or the balance of the game. Or even what Konami thinks of the game. Because he really hates them from a tournament organizer standpoint. Because there was a long period of time where they would ruin tournaments due to the fact that they would try and deck out their opponent, right? Because that was a lot of the play that they could do, right? That was basically it. You could just deck out your opponent because there wasn't really much else you could do. You weren't really strong enough because you had beatdown. You weren't really, able to consistently, OTK your opponent, but you still had good control. So that's why I think Decade, Duel Links Meta, tends to hate on Dark Lords. They're really annoying from a tournament standpoint. And with side deck, they are really strong. However, they're not nearly as popular as things like Blue Eyes or things like Harpies and Automat, right? So I really don't think that Konami will be really wishing to hit this. I think that they will hit it because it needs to be hit, and it needs to be, there needs to be some sort of change there. But I don't think that they're going to really focus in on it and really try and kill the deck like they did with Shiranui, right? Shiranui was everywhere, all the time. It was always super popular. Dark Lords haven't really been that. They've never really been that same prevalence as something like Shiranui or even Invoked, right? So, quick side tangent. Anyway, Evil Eyes. I do think that Evil Eyes have the potential to be hit due to how well they did in the Casey Cup. If we scroll down, we could see, eventually we'll see a lot of Evil Eyes. Yep, there's some Evil Eyes running Titan Showdown. There's some more Evil Eyes. Again, Titan Showdown. Let's keep scrolling. We'll see some more. I'm almost certain of it. Yep, there's some more Titan Showdown. Right. So, as you can see, there were quite a few of them in the top 100. And they were pretty common in the Casey Cup. And Konami tends to look at the Casey Cup more specifically when they're doing ban lists than they do at tournaments and stuff like that that Duel Links Meta holds, right? So I think there could be a hit to Evil Eyes, something very, very light, like limiting Evil Eye of Selene to 2, although that is a UR card, so maybe it wouldn't be that, but, you know, something like that, just to basically say, all right, yeah, you can still play this deck. It's basically in the same form that it was, but, you know, maybe now you can't play something like Treacherous, right? Or I could see them also hitting Titan Showdown, which is a pretty insane skill for that deck, because it's basically an OTK option for them. I won't explain the combo, but basically I could see them hitting Titan Showdown by saying that it requires dinos or something along those lines in the deck, right? Something simple. That's it. Now, I think that that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did enjoy. I will do the wish list next time, but this was basically a quick rundown of what I'm expecting Konami to do. This is just the expectation for Konami, and I don't expect them to really do a whole lot due to the fact that they're Konami and they tend to miss a lot of things. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty light on a lot of the top tier decks. Anyway, that's going to be it. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as the next video where I talk about my wish list and what I want to have happen, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.